I don't understand why there are still logical people that I know that are logical people that will swear that you're going to be damned, the fires of damnation because you didn't accept their God. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. It should be good enough that you're a decent person, and that you're putting out good things in the universe. But I think we're a long way from getting there.
Oh man, and look how far away we've been from that for how long. I mean, just historically speaking, humanity at large has really kind of gone off the rails for the most part, with organized religion and all of that. And heathenry, paganism, a lot of folks, and even I did, when I came into this was, like, I can just do whatever I want, right? No rules, no consequence. And I learned very early on that that's not the case. There is consequence to our actions. You make the wrong decision, you pull out in front of moving traffic, you're going to get T-boned. Like, that's a bad decision. There's consequences to those actions. Same with anything, so the reward or the punishment idea, again, it comes in the moment, maybe not immediately, but there are, every action, there's a reaction, and there's consequence and there's reward to everything that's done. So I had to, trying to explain that to my family, that was like, nope, that, you've already, strayed from the path, and until you come back and, get right with God or whatever, we want nothing to do with you and all of that. And that's like, but that kind of thing bothered me for a long time. And, makes me think too about people that find this path and then maybe it gets out to their families that they've left Christianity, and then what that feeling of guilt can do to somebody to want to be like, all right, let me go back to this thing that keeps my family happy, right? Not wanting to be a disappointment or any such thing like that. I think that that's definitely a factor too, to some people's situations.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I guarantee you. I was brought up in a household, my grandmother was the accountant for, the convent and Catholic school.
Oh, wow.
And, a lot of us went to that Catholic school. My uncle, who lived next door to my grandparents, was a devout Baptist. Very strict Baptist. My cousin, I remember being beat to within an inch of his life because he found an AC/DC record in his bedroom and swore he was worshiping the devil.
Wow.
Yeah. But luckily my grandparents weren't quite as bad as my uncle. But you still didn't, claim to be anything in that family.
Yeah.
I never rebelled against that. I just more or less did my own thing.
Yeah.
And strangely, just never cared what anybody else thought. I guess part of that was, my father was a black sheep of the family. He didn't care what anybody else thought. He had his own beliefs, and I just sort of followed his lead. And, he was another one that was all for finding your own way. Whatever truths you find in life, follow those truths. Don't worry about what anybody else, tells you.
Yeah.
And wasn't perfect by a long shot, but I did get a big part of my beliefs from him, I think. Not my core beliefs, but just that sense of don't suppress what you feel to satisfy other people. So I was lucky to have that sort of role model that didn't succumb to those rules and regulations. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people are still brought up in very strict households that, I'm sure there's a lot of fear for a lot of people of condemnation of.
Oh yeah, man. At least here in my part of the country, just in this part of the state, even, this is the South, you know, so there's you know, churches on every corner. Christianity is the ruling class, you know, religious class, and so there's even folks. But despite that, right, there's a very rich and vibrant pagan community, not just heathens. I mean, there's all types of non-traditional religious beliefs that are, you know, are around here. And but there's still people that you know, I've met at different public events, you know, whether it's like at a coffee shop or in a park or, you know, whatever. And it's like, you know, they don't announce to on social media where they're going to things like that. Their immediate family still don't know. They have to kind of stay hidden,
Yeah.
you know, with their beliefs. They can't be public about it. And it's sad, you know, like, man, you know, but it's also commendable, I think. And it's really, you know, something to be said for somebody who lives that lifestyle, but does so with discretion. You know, there's some cunning there. There's some wit that I think, you know, is appreciated by the gods.